Hello, this is Mr. Wandrum, and this is a math tutorial that's on the area of a square, and also it's going to be a review of perimeter. We start off with this tutorial, we're going to start off with some things that are basic. They're not very hard at all, but as we go through it, it's going to get a little more difficult because the major goal of Singapore is not necessarily just to know how to do length times width and do the basic math, but it's also to be able to apply the math and really think, which is a great skill and it's very important to do. This first question right here says, what is the area of a square 12 centimeters in length? Okay, we got to think about what we know about a square. We know a square has all sides that are the same length. There's my example of a little ugly square. I did my best. But if the length is 12, we know that the width is also 12, because on a square all sides are 12. But if we use the formula length times width, we only need to go 12 times 12. 12 times 12 is 144. Now since we're talking about area is how many squares would fit in here. Well, actually, if it's 12 centimeters by 12 centimeters, 144 squares will fit in there. So we're going to say 144 centimeters squared. Now let's look at this next one. It says the area of a rectangle is 72 feet squared. Its width is 4 feet. Find its perimeter. Okay, this one's saying perimeter. Okay, they're giving us the area and they're giving us the width, but we've got to find the perimeter. So let's draw a little rectangle here. We don't have to be a Picasso just to make a little rectangle. As you can see, I'm no Picasso. But let's just figure out what they've told us already. They told us that the area is 72 feet squared, and they told us the width is 4. So that tells me, because I know area is length times width, something times 4 equals 72. To figure out that, I'll have to do the opposite of multiply, which is divide. See how many times 4 goes into 72. 4 goes into 7 one time. 1 times 4 is 4. 7 minus 4 is 3. Bring down the 2. 4 goes into 32 8 times. 8 times 4 is 32. Okay, subtract, we got no remainder. So that tells us that this side is 18. Now what else do we know about a rectangle? Opposite sides are the same. So if this side's 4, we know this side's 4. If this length is 18, we know this length is 18. So we can add, or we can go use the formula, 2 times length. This means 2 times length plus 2 times width. So we go 18 times 2, which is 36, plus 4 times 2, which is 8. We add 36 plus 8. In my mind I say 36 plus 10, which is 46. Then take away 2, because we only needed 8, which would give us 44 feet. Okay, we're not talking about square inches because we're not doing area. We're doing perimeter, so our area would be in feet, not square feet. Okay, now on this last one, it says the perimeter of a rectangle is 56 centimeters. Its width is 10 centimeters. Find its length. Okay, so we know the perimeter. Let's draw our little rectangle again. Draw a picture. That's a great strategy. The perimeter is 56. We know the width is 10. We know this side is 10. We know this side is also 10. So out of the whole 56, we've got 10 and 10. If you add these two up, or you go 10 times 2 is 20, we know that we've got 20. So we've got these two left. We don't know these yet. So if we take 56 and we subtract the 20 that we already have, that'll give us 36. That means these two sides are 36. Since we know it's a rectangle and these sides are exactly the same, we can just divide 36 by 2 and we'll get 18. So we know this side is 18, this side is 18. Okay? The perimeter of a rectangle is 56, its width is 10. Find its length. Its length is 18. So we're going to put 18 centimeters as our answer for its length. Okay, now that was the basic stuff. Now we're going to apply what we know about length times width. We know to make these into rectangles. Look, this is not a square. This is not a rectangle. But if I take a line and I go right here, I break this up into one small rectangle and one bigger rectangle. Now I use my formula. Area equals length times width. 8 times 10 is 80 centimeters squared, because we're talking about how many squares will fit in here. 4 times 3 is 12 centimeters squared. Now we know the area of each one of them separately, so we're going to add them together. It's 92 centimeters squared. Okay. Now on this next one, see, we have a little mark right here. Let's clear that off. Okay, now this one is an irregular shape. We want to break it into rectangles. They already kind of broke this one for us, so let's do the same thing over here. Excuse me. They want to give us this side already. It's 8. They gave us this is 6, so we go 8 times 6. Thank you for giving us that, which is 48. 48 meters squared. Now if you come over here, here's the key. Here's where you really have to be able to think, you know. If you take this piece, which this top, and this top, those three tops, if you combine them together, will equal this bottom. They say this bottom is 20 meters all the way across. So we got 6 plus 5, which is 11. 20 minus 11 is 9. So we know this part has to be 9. So now we can go 9 times 8, which is 72 meters squared. And now we found this rectangle. Now the only thing we haven't found is this small one in the middle. They tell us this is 3, this part is 5. 5 times 3 is 15, so we get 15 meters squared. Now we can add the 3 together. 72 plus 48 plus 15. 8 plus 2 is 10. 10 plus 5 is 15. Carry my 1. 7 plus 1 is 8. 8 plus 4 is 12. 12 plus 1 is 13. So we get 135 meters squared. Okay, and that's our final answer. Now we go on to this one. It's a little bit more difficult. Find the shaded area of the rectangle. So they want the shaded in area. They do not want this area in the middle. But look, they give me this whole length. They give me the whole width. So of course, I want to find the area of the whole thing first. Then I want to subtract out these small rectangles. So I'm going to start off, I'm going to go 15 times 10, which is 150. So I know the whole thing is 150 yards squared. Okay, but now if I go like this, I know that this is 6 times 5, which is 30. Okay, this is 2 times something. But I don't know that something. But use what I know already. This whole bottom is 7. So this piece plus this piece, if you move this all the way up, it would equal 7. So we go 5 to here. This has to be 2. And we can see that it's a square. 2 times 2 is 4. Okay, now, think about it. We found the whole area, but we want to get rid of this. That would be like if you had a sandwich and you had cheese on it. You don't want the cheese. You get rid of the cheese. You subtract it. In math, when you don't want something, to get rid of it, you subtract it. Okay, so first we want to subtract 30 and we want to subtract 4. Why not combine those two together and subtract 34? Okay, borrow from the 5, make it a 4. 10 minus 4 is 6. 4 minus 3 is 1. 1 minus 0 is 1. So the shaded portion is going to be 116 yards squared. And that's going to be our answer. And I always tell the kids, circle your answer and show your work. Okay, this is the last one right here. The last one and the most difficult one. But look, we know how to break it into different parts. We know how to find the missing sides. We just use everything we know, and this will be a piece of cake. First of all, we see this side right here is 8, this side is 5. Why wouldn't we just break this apart and go 8 times 5? 40 centimeters squared. Okay, we have that. Here's where we get into a little funny problem. If you notice, this part, if I go across right here, it's not going to form a rectangle, okay? But if I go across right here, it does form a rectangle for this part up here. This side shows me that this is 5, this is 4. 5 times 4 is 20. So now I have this part, okay? But now this is not exactly a rectangle. How can I make it one? I can do a line that goes across here, or I can do a line that goes right here, which makes more sense to me. Now, what do I know? I know 9 and this 4 together are the same as this side. 9 plus 4 is 13. So I know this side is 13, this side is 3. 13 times 3 is 39. So that's 39 centimeters squared. By the way, this was 20 centimeters squared. Now this is the mystery part right here. Okay. Now they're saying 9 plus 4 is 13. This piece over here is 5. You know, this is a rectangle, so we know this part is 5. 13 and 5 is 18, so that means this has to be 2. Okay? Now we got to fix this part over here. Now we can see from here to here is 5, and from here to here is 8. 5 and 8 together are 13. So this 5, see if this makes sense, this 5 and this 8 makes 13. This looks like it's going to be a square, right? We take this part, this is going to be a 2, so 2 times 2 is 4. Okay, now if we add all these up, we got 39 for this rectangle, 20 for this rectangle, 4 for this square, this little square, and then 40 for this rectangle. We add them all up. The biggest one is 40. I'm going to write down a 40. We got another one that's 39. We got another one that's 20. And then we have a 4. We'll add all those up. 9 and 4 is 13. Carry the 1. 4, 5, 6, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I get 103 centimeters squared. Okay? Wow. So we figured these out. You notice we went from easier in the beginning to harder in the end, but we're just applying what we know, you know, combining these sides, finding out the missing sides, taking our time, doing it right, and then it's not too hard. Now I know in the tutorial I didn't exactly give you practice problems, but if you feel like if you're a parent and you're watching this, you feel like your child needs some practice problems, you can either email me or you can have them let me know in class, and I'll make some copies of some practice problems that they can do at home, or you can go over with them. Because, you know, even though we did area already, area is going to come back, and area is going to be on the CRCT. Well, thank you for watching this tutorial on the area of a square or a rectangle, and we also did a little perimeter in there, and I hope it was beneficial. This is Mr. Wandrum signing off.